which to me really makes no sense because the Birkin is an already open style tote that does not need any more pockets than it already has. Hey guys, my name is G.P.S. and welcome back. Since I had to skip a couple of uploads because of my whole swollen eye fiasco last week, I thought I would do 3 videos a week for the rest of June. So you'll be seeing a new video from me every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And I thought what better way to start off this new bonus video series than by doing one of your favorite types of videos, a What's New from Hermes update. And in case this is your first time seeing one of these videos from me, this is basically where we go through all the new pieces that are launching from Hermes in the foreseeable future. And if you want to catch up on all the previous videos, I have put a playlist together which will be linked down below. And actually not too long ago we did a video talking about the new Birkins and Kellys that are launching later this year. But what we didn't have time to talk about were all the other pieces that are launching at the same time, including some micro Kellys as well as some Birkin accessories and other leather goods. So if you'd like to see some new Hermes pieces, hear my thoughts as well as prices, then please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and keep on watching. Let's jump straight in and start with a piece that I am personally kind of torn on. I think this is a piece that can go one or two ways. This will either look fabulous or it will look extremely cheap. I haven't quite decided yet, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. But the piece I'm talking about is the Monpetitkelly Pendant, which is a piece that is from the Haute Fantasy range that is basically Hermes's attempt to recreate iconic pieces in an unexpected way, and that's exactly what they did with the Kelly bag. So they were inspired by the iconic shape and closure of the Kelly bag, and they redesigned it to make it into a pendant, and this is the result. It's basically this tapered, almost triangle-shaped leather pendant that has, of course, the Kelly closure on the front, which is not functional. You cannot open and close it. It is just set. It just functions as a decor piece. And what's missing from the piece, and also missing to me, is the handle. We are so used to seeing the silhouette of the Kelly with the triangle shape and the single handle that as soon as I saw it, I was like, there's just something missing. And it took me quite a while to realize that it's actually the handle, which I understand that they're playing around with this piece and it was just basically taken as loose inspiration. But I think that handle would have made a big difference, which was replaced with a ring that you can attach a necklace to. Because the whole idea behind this is that you're supposed to wear this around your neck as a pendant, which I'm not quite sure about. I think as a necklace it kind of looks like a security tag. So if you work in a profession where you have a security card that you need to scan everywhere you go, you know how some people carry their security cards around their neck with that neck piece? That's, I think, what it would end up looking like because it is so flat. So I personally wouldn't use this as a necklace and I wouldn't recommend for anyone to do that. But I think what this could look quite cool as is a back charm. Obviously Hermes launched the Kelly Twilly last year, which I have several videos on, which was basically a Kelly bag inspired back charm, which is what most people used it as. And it was ridiculously expensive. Obviously, if you compare the two pieces close up, the Kelly Twilly is a completely functional bag that opens and closes and you can put things inside, whereas the Monpetitkelly is just a flat shape. But at the same time, from the far, if you're going to use them as a back charm, I do think that they would give you a very similar look and feel, and the Monpetitkelly is a fraction of the price. So the Monpetitkelly starts at around 500 euros and it goes up to just over 700 depending on what size and leather you go for. It's available in 2 different sizes, in small and large. The small version is just around 3.4 centimeters and then the large one is 5.5, which is actually quite close to the size of the Kelly Twilly. So if you always like the look of the Kelly Twilly as a back charm, but you never wanted to pay thousands of dollars for it, this could be a pretty good alternative in the larger size. It's going to be available in a huge array of different leathers. There are single colored ones, there are ones with prints, you can even find ones that have the Medora studs. And you'll also find this in exotic skins, namely in lizard. I've only seen it in lizard so far, but I wouldn't be surprised if at one point this launched in croc as well. But I do think it's a fun idea to play around with. As I mentioned, as a necklace, I don't think it would work, especially not in the larger size. But if you're looking for a new bag charm, a fun way to spice up your bags, and you've always liked the idea of the Calvi Duo, this could be something that you can play around with. I am excited to have a look at it in person, in store, because I think this is one of those pieces that you really have to see for yourself to decide. But as a back charm, I'm kind of hopeful, and I would love to hear what you think about this piece. I have recently done an in-depth review on the Calvi card holder, which is quite a fundamental and almost a basic piece from Hermes. That's exactly why people usually could just gloss over the details of it, because it is a simple piece that people usually buy to start off their collections. But it doesn't mean that it's inexpensive by any means. It still costs a few $100s. So I wanted to make sure that I share all the details with you, just so you know what you're paying for. So if you'd like to learn all about the Calvi and compare it to the Bastia, I'll make sure to have my video linked up here. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because we touched on a piece in that video that is quite new from Hermes that has just recently launched, which is the so-called Calvi Duo. Now this is a piece that instead of having the 2 card slots on each side of the Calvi, only comes with 1 credit card slot. And on the other side, instead of having a credit card slot, they replaced that with an actual pocket that has a snap closure to it, which I think is just a genius idea. Considering that the Calvi, I know a lot of people love and want to add to their collection, but they're afraid that it is just too much of an open style card holder and they're nervous they would end up losing pieces from it, which I've personally never had an issue with. I used Calvis for years and I have never once lost anything from any one of my Calvis. But I completely understand why you'd be nervous about that, because at the end of the day, the original Calvi is quite a simple and ambiguous design. But by having that pocket on the other side, I think it will feel a lot more like a comprehensive wallet that you can use not only as a card holder, but you can also put other things in there as well. In terms of price, you will be paying a little bit more for the Calvi Duo for the additional pocket. So the original Calvi in Epsom is usually $340, and you will be paying for the Calvi Duo in the exact same Epsom skin $465, which I actually think is quite fair considering that you get more of a complex wallet for your money. But personally, I don't think that if you have the original Calvi and you've been perfectly happy with it, that you need to run out and get the Calvi Duo unless you really want to. If you already have the Calvi and you've been completely happy with it, the Calvi Duo won't add too much newness to your collection. But if you want something that is kind of like the Calvi, but it also has the benefits of the Bastia coin purse, this is a match made in heaven for you. Let's talk about some of the new pieces that launched in collaboration with Apple. And in case you were not aware, Hermes has an ongoing partnership with Apple. They've been working together for years, I think ever since the Apple Watch originally launched. And I know it might sound weird that Hermes is working together with this tech company, but the more you think about it, the more sense it makes, because I find that both brands have really similar values and they both represent similar things in their own fields, which I find to be innovation and just brands on the top of their game. So they have recently introduced 2 new pieces to the range. They have introduced a new phone case for the iPhone 12 and I believe iPhone 12 Pro in Bavarian leather, which is a heritage skin by Hermes that has been in use ever since the inception of the brand, when they were exclusively creating harnesses and equestrian essentials. They've been using this leather ever since, and in order to keep the tradition going, they have started using it across the board, not only in their equestrian line, but also on bags and small leather goods. So of course it makes sense that they would also turn the leather into a phone case. And instead of branding it with just the Hermes branding, they decorated the back of the phone case with the so-called bulldog print, which is something that Hermes has mainly used in the past on scarves, and it's inspired by the ribbon that you get wrapped around your boxes when you buy something from Hermes. It's basically an exact replica of the ribbon with the ex libris logo and then the Hermes branding on the back. And it's all blind embossed into the phone case, so it's a little bit more subtle than having the actual brand name on the back. So if you have one of the newer iPhones, this might be something that you want to look into. It's definitely not for me because I'm always really meticulous about cleaning my phone when I get home. Not only because of everything going on now, I've always done that. So for me, a leather phone case is always a no-go. And I'm pretty sure I have one of the older iPhones. I'm not really big on tech, so I don't even have the newest iPhone. So even if I wanted one, I couldn't get one. But I'm not really interested in picking up a leather phone case because I know I would not be able to take advantage of it. And then the other pieces that launched at the same time as the phone case are a newer piece from Apple that Hermes immediately jumped on, which is the so-called Apple AirTag. Now this is a new smart Bluetooth tracking device that you can put on whatever you want to. And by having that on something, you will be able to track it on your phone or on your Mac. It's the same idea as the Find My iPhone or Find My Mac app, where you can see exactly where your piece is. And Hermes has created a few different types of cases for the Apple AirTag. They have a keyring, they have a back charm, they have a luggage tag, and then they also have a travel tag. So altogether, they have 4 different versions of it. And you not only get a case when you buy this from Apple, but you also get an Apple AirTag that is decorated with the Hermes Clou de Sel motif, which again is something that Hermes uses in their equestrian line. It is quite a bit more expensive than the original Apple AirTag, which I think is only like maybe between $30 and $50. The Apple Hermes AirTags range between $3 to just under $500, depending on what version you go for. I believe the back charm is the least expensive, and then the luggage tag is the most expensive, just because you have the most amount of leather in that particular piece. I think they are cool. It's a cool idea that you can track your piece, which I know got a ton of people excited, saying that this will be the next best thing to keep your pieces safe. But it's not quite as simple as that, because yes, if you put the AirTag, whether it's the Apple AirTag or the Hermes AirTag, on a piece of yours, you will be able to track it and see always where it is. But if, God forbid, it ends up in the wrong hands and it's with someone else for a while, there is a safety feature built into the AirTag that if it ends up with someone else who has an iPhone or an iPad or a MacBook, and the AirTag is with them without you, the owner of the AirTag, being there because it's connected to your phone, the person the AirTag is with for a while will be notified after a few hours just to say that, hey, I'm an AirTag, I want to let you know that I have been with you for a while. Do you want me to remain with you, or do you want me to block the signal? And that was a really important safety feature to be put into the AirTag, just to prevent people from tracking you without you knowing about it, because it's such a small device that anyone could throw this into your pocket and always know where you are without you realizing it. So I see both sides of the argument. I can see why they would need that safety feature, but if you bought this just so you always know where your pieces are in case they end up in the wrong hands, this will not be the best investment. So I would say that if you want to use it for that purpose, still you can get the Apple AirTags, just the original versions, because they're a lot more subtle and they're not quite as expensive. But if you're just buying them as an accessory, yeah, they look fun. You can absolutely use it on something that you might lose out of sight and you want to find, like your keys or a little wallet. But I wouldn't really rely on this to keep your high value pieces safe. And I don't think a lot of people talk about this. I think people just thought that this will be a tracking device that will allow you to always know where your pieces are. And that might be true. But again, it's not as simple as that, because if it ever ends up in the wrong hands and it's close to someone else's iPhone, that iPhone will be notified after a few hours that the AirTag is near you and it can easily be removed and blocked. This next and last piece is not actually something that I had any intentions of talking about in today's video or ever, because I found this launch to be quite boring and lackluster. But then I started getting DMs and emails one after another asking for my feedback on this piece, general information, if I know when it's launching, how much it's going to cost. So I thought I might as well talk about it here. And since we're talking about when pieces are available, now that I have talked about all the pieces, I think most of them should be available somewhere in the world. So I have a feeling that every single piece in this video will be available worldwide in the very near future. So keep your eyes peeled in case you're interested in any one of them. But this next piece is one that I've seen pop up here and there already. It's not something that you'll be able to buy online. You will most likely have to go into stores to pick it up. But it is a piece that was designed specifically as an accessory for your Birkin. And it's the Birkin Backpocket, which is basically this external pocket, or to stay on brand, Pochette, that was designed to seamlessly slide over the back handle of your Birkin and function as a zip pocket on the back of it, which to me really makes no sense, because the Birkin is an already open style tote that does not need any more pockets than it already has. Now, when I talk about this piece saying that it makes no sense to me, bear in mind that I'm someone that never closes their Birkin all the way with the flap. Unless I'm in a crowd or I'm walking through an airport and I want to make sure that my bags stay safe, I would close my bag, but those are not really things that we do nowadays. So if you belong to the 1% of people who uses their Birkins with the flap closed, just ignore me and ignore what I say about this piece. But if you are one of the 99% of people, including myself, who always leaves their bags open, or in most cases leaves their bags open, hear me out, because I don't think this piece will add anything to your collection. But this is basically a piece that, as I mentioned, should slide over seamlessly the back handle of your bag, and then you have one single zip pocket that I guess you can put phones in there, your credit cards, things that you need easy access to. But why would you need a back pocket for that, considering that the Birkin is famous for being an open style tote that is the easiest thing for you to reach into? Not to mention that it has two pockets already on the inside. You have one pocket on the front and then a zip pocket on the back. So if you need a pocket to store things that you need easy access to, like your phone, you have the front pocket. And if you want something that stays safe in your bag, you have your zip pocket. But if you love it and this is everything your heart desires, it will be available, as I mentioned, in 3 different sizes, 25, 30, 35. It comes in 2 leathers so far, Togo and Swift. And even though it's not, all the leathers that Hermes creates Birkins in, I think they cover their bases with these 2 leathers, because Togo is more textured, Swift is more smooth. So you can choose for whichever leather is closer to the actual texture of your bag. I don't necessarily think that you have to go for the exact same leather that your bag is in. If your bag is more textured in terms of leather, you can go for Togo. If your bag is made of a smoother leather, you can go for Swift. And then in terms of price, I believe they are around 700 euros in Europe. And then in the US, that leads me to believe that they'll be just around $1,000, depending on what leather and what size you go for. Obviously, Togo is going to be slightly less expensive than Swift, but that's how much you should expect to pay for these pieces in case you like them. I personally find them a waste of money. For that kind of money, you're much better off buying yourself an insert that is going to keep your bag organized and nicely structured, because on the outside, the Birkin is just perfect as it is. And this is it, guys. This completes today's What's New from Hermes video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section on these pieces. I would love to hear what you think. And I think today's was a good one because all of these pieces are either available now or should be available very, very soon. So if there was anything that you saw that you liked, you don't have to wait for too long for these to actually hit boutiques near you. And if you enjoyed this, then please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe down below because I'll be seeing you back here on Thursday as well as Sunday this week. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.